I want to talk with you about the payoffs that organizations receive when they train their managers to become better coaches. Lots of development programs that I've attended and I've watched other people go through have produced a variety of takeaways. People leave with very different ideas, very different conclusions about what they've gained from it. There's wide variation. What's really been fascinating as we've watched people go through a development process to learn to be better coaches is to see how consistent the takeaways are from that. And so I wanted to share with you a few of those takeaways because you may either yourself want to acquire some of these skills and these understandings, or chances are you may know somebody in your organization that you think really ought to learn these lessons. So let me just tell you what the lessons are. The first and very consistent takeaway that people kind of leave with is, I talk too much. I take way too much of the airtime. And in these sessions, we try to encourage people to say, particularly those who are managers and leaders in organizations, if you're taking more than 20% of the airtime, you're taking too much. The second thing that they kind of walk away with is, I don't listen very well. I was reading through some reports of people's conclusions from attending one of these programs, and one person wrote, I always thought that listening meant simply waiting your turn to talk. I also had a chance to read through the development plans of thousands of leaders who had sort of summarized what they were going to be working on, and I was really intrigued to see that the single most frequently selected developmental goal was, I will become a better listener. The third thing that people walk away with is, I don't ask very good questions. Don't ask enough questions and don't ask very good questions. And so they come away realizing that good communication, and particularly how they can be more effective as coaches, is really as much about catch as it is pitch. It's not just being not what they say and what suggestions they make, but it's how much they understand, how much they learn. The fourth conclusion that people walk away with is, I give way too much advice and I give it too soon. There is a place in a coaching discussion for people to make some suggestions and to offer their ideas. But what they learn is they are prone to kind of do it too quickly and to give way too much advice. The fifth conclusion that they come to is that they don't take the time to find out, what does the other person really want from this conversation? They dive into it sometimes with their own agenda, but not really taking the time to say, so what are you hoping to gain from this conversation? What do you want from me and from this discussion we're having? And the final observation that I would make is that, and that most people who participate seem to make, is coaching is really a wonderful style of being a better leader. It's a practical way to put into operation the very fundamental, basic principles of good leadership about treating people with respect and dignity, finding out what they think. It's that combination of helping people to practice leadership in the right area of that spectrum of all the way from being autocratic and highly controlling all the way to the other end of being kind of just laissez-faire and backing away and kind of being benign about what's going on in the organization. So if you personally want to learn some of those skills, or if you have somebody in your organization that would benefit from having some of those skills, then having them participate in a coaching workshop would be a really wonderful idea.